one you want to go on, because we're going to be on both. And if we get any followers, I'll mention it as we're going by.
Oh, yeah.
Or questions in the chat room on Twitch.
Where's it going to be? How do I search it on Twitch TV?
I posted it into the Facebook group, but it's twitch.tv /DR4G3N.
You sent out a tweet?
A tweet? Yeah, it should have just went live.
Alright, give me a moment. Dragon.
Did it not?
Not that I can see.
Okay, I can fix that. But let's just press on. I can do it while like one of you guys are talking during the introduction or something. So, without further ado, Mark, is that you?
That was me. Sorry.
That's all right. How am I hearing that? That's so weird.
It was kind of loud. I think the volume was really amped up on it.
Okay, so yeah, without further ado, 10 seconds and I'll just start the intro. Everybody have water? Went to the bathroom? All that good stuff?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Battlewatch. This is episode 9 on our series of talking about different maps, different attacks, different defending strategies. This week we will be talking about the capture maps and attacking. Without further ado, I present the Battlewatch commanders. Mark, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Steppy, it's been, what, like 3 weeks since you've been on? How you been, man?
Well, the 2 weeks prior, not so great, but yeah, I'm pretty good now. I'm happy now, so we're good. We're ready to roll.
Good deal. So, first question for you guys. Ignore the show notes. I'm not going to ask that one. I asked that one last week. But what, how have you guys been doing in competitive? I know we talked about this briefly before the cast started, but with, just so everybody can get an idea of how we're doing.
I'm doing okay. I had a run of about 7 or 8 competitive losses in a row, which dropped me from competitive 50 to 44, 43-ish.
Okay.
And unfortunately now I'm kind of hovering around in that area. I just can't get out of that hole.
Yeah, these holes seem intense to climb out of, so to speak. What about you, Steppy?
Yeah, it's definitely up and down. I think you should be rewarded more for, like, just say you win like 3 games in a row. You should probably be rewarded more.
So you think there should be
if
like...
you start to lose more, you should be losing less XP the more you lose, just to give a bit of a chance, you know? Like, losing 7 in a row, as Mark said, is kind of crappy, man. It's not a good feeling either.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of chit-chat around the Facebook groups saying that people are taking hiatuses from the game already, and, like, we just got a new character. There's changes every single week. I mean, it seems really early for people to be taking changes, but everybody's blaming it on competitive. They're like, I'm never getting a good team. I'm not getting a good... the matchmaking stinks. Why am I playing with people that are like 20 levels less than me? And it's like, there's just ramble on everywhere, so it seems.
Yeah, perfect example is today, Dragon and I played a game, and you're level 60?
I was.
Yeah, well, you were.
Yeah.
I'm 44, 43. We get in the game together, and somebody was complaining that they were being teamed up with a level 43. Me.
Yeah.
And my play, I don't believe, is descriptive of the level that they show me at. You know, I had a series of unfortunate games where I wasn't teamed on very good
exactly,
teams,
man.
and I've lost quite a few. Now, I got in there, and if you recall, in that game, I ended up getting player of the match.
Yes.
Or play of the match. So, I mean, it's not that I'm a terrible player, nor am I as good as others. I think I'm pretty much above average in some respects. But my competitive level is not, in line with that. So, it's just...
It doesn't represent what kind of player you are.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah, and
that's what I'm looking for.
While we're on the subject, the level that you are in the game does not represent it at all. There can be people that are 300, people 400, but it doesn't mean that they're going to like lay to waste the entire opponent.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen level like 350s that are rank 45, so it's it doesn't work that way.
Exactly. So, as Mark mentioned, I was level 60 going into today, and then we played a couple of games. Once and last time I played it a little bit afterwards, and I am down to 58 now, so I am on the path of paving my way back to 60, and hopefully pressing on. For the weekly update, we are trying to stream on both YouTube Gaming and Twitch to get our name out there. I know that Twitch is like the monster when it comes to streaming, and we've been exclusively YouTube Gaming, more for the reason that it immediately posts as soon as we're done, so it's a much easier conversion over to editing for me, but I think that going on Twitch is going to help us moving forward. So anybody out there that's watching on Twitch, thank you for watching. As always, if there's anybody that's watching or viewing that wants any information or any specifics that they want us to talk about, be it this week or next week, have any questions, feel free to just ask them in the chat and I will ask the guys. What else do we have for the weekly update?
Anna's live.
She is live.
Yeah, so we recorded last Sunday, I believe it was, and everything was still on the PTR server. And Anna has become live. The competitive players, this is my opinion, are still questionable about where she fits. It seems like every time there's an ult for her, it goes on a tank, basically based off the introduction video that you saw of her. Yeah. But I think she's going to be viable. I just think it's going to be one of those, if you're a good Widowmaker player, then you play Widowmaker, as opposed to if you're a decent sniper, you can play Hanzo. So with Anna, the fact that you need to snipe is going to be everything. You need to be on point with all of your shots.
The way I see it is, I keep forgetting his name, but the main developer for Overwatch said that Anna is going to be a character like Zarya, where there's a very high skill cap, and if you're good with her, she will dominate. I mean, I've seen a lot of Annas just wreck face, like killing and supporting. I played a game, I think it was this morning, just before I went out, and it was in quick play, but an Anna healed 60% of our damage taken, and she was just a god. Like, she must be a Widowmaker main or something, I don't know, but yeah. I just think that maybe they should buff her, like, left click heal just a little bit. The E is fine, but I think maybe a little bit of a buff for the shot, so you get rewarded for accurate shots. I think that's needed.
So do you think it would be better if there was no delay on her shot and there was no buff?
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Because when you zoomed in, there's no delay at all. It's direct. But when you're hip firing, it's a projectile then.
Oh, speaking of, for anybody watching, make sure you make a note. Whenever you shoot zoomed in, it consumes 3 bullets. Whenever you shoot hip fire, it is 1.
I didn't even know that either.
Yeah, so I was testing her out when we were doing our 7.5 episode, and I was like, holy crap, it's 3 bullets every time you zoomed in. And the same thing is for Widowmaker. I'm not sure about Hanzo, but yeah, every time you zoom in with the character, it consumes more, which is something to make note of. What about you, Mark? What do you think about Anna?
Honestly, I haven't played her. I'm not much of a sniper person, but I am a support, so I assume at some point I am going to get around to her.
Okay.
As it stands right now, I've played with her. I've been given her ult, which is, I think, phenomenal. It really boosts, me be playing as D.Va sometimes. I've played as Reinhardt and gotten it, and it is just unbelievable when you get a hold of it. But from what I can tell, other than that, I don't find her to be any more or less better than the other support people, but until I really play her, I really don't know.
Okay. Moving on, all the PTR changes that we announced last week are now active. The D.Va buff is now active. We have the Mercy, that they were going to increase her damage to 50%, did not go live. They tested it and they found out that to be way too broken. I believe it was like a McCree, basically. A McCree could one-shot half of the enemy team if she had 50%, so it is back to 30%. Thank you for all you beta testers out there that were trying that out. And who else? All the self-healing, helping out your ultimate is live now as well. So a lot more Roadhog being played as I've seen.
Yeah, you know what? I played Roadhog a bit this morning, and you know how I've always discussed with you that like, oh, it's a 45% nerf. He's not going to get his ult that fast.
Yeah.
I dropped down to 200 health, healed up, and I got like 30% of my ult or something. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, man, and
right.
him combined with Ana, the fact that he can full heal, is going to be insane if they figure it out in the metas.
The same thing with Mercy and her ult. I thought it was going to hurt her by increasing the time that she gets her ultimate, but with the self heal, which she constantly does if she gets hurt, it actually it makes up for it, I think.
Yeah, I agree. So one final thing, and I believe this to be true. I don't know. There's a lot of controversy with it, but competitive scoring system seems to have been changed. It seems to be that like there's a new design. First of all, it's not like one level to the next level. Now it's like it has 3 levels total with little hashtags in between.
Yes.
And it seems to me like you lose less experience when you lose, but you're also, it seems like you're either gaining the same amount of experience or just a little less than you were before, because I know that there were some, when Steppy and I were playing, we won like 3 or 4 games in a row, and we ended up getting like a level almost each turn, and that was amazing.
Crazy.
So look out for that if you are a competitive player. So what do we have for this week, guys? What's our main attraction?
We're going to be looking at maps and team composition, points, advantage, disadvantages for attacking, capture points, and King of the Hill.
All right. What do we have first?
Welcome to the Temple of Anubis.
All right, first things first, with Temple of Anubis, what do you guys...
Yep.
Yeah, nudists.
Anubis. Hey.
What do you guys think on attack? What's your team comp? What do you guys think is the best team comp so far?
I believe you always run a Genji on attack. Always run a Genji. Reinhardt is probably a necessity also. Maybe even 2, to be honest. Specifically if they have... Oh, no, you can't in competitive, so I guess that takes that out of the equation. But maybe something like Zarya. So Zarya, Genji, Reinhardt, Lucio for sure, just in case you need to speed through. Maybe even Ana. I mean, because she can hide behind a little bit and heal the team from afar. And if you go the left or the right side, she can kind of snipe in both ways. That's if she's not getting focused through the middle. And for last, a Pharah, I reckon. Okay.
So what about you, Mark? What's your opinion on team composition for this map?
I like to see Reapers. Because you're kind of huddling everybody into one area there.
Okay.
And you can take out a lot of people at the same time. In the same respect, I kind of like D.Va as well on most capture point maps, because even though you may not get the kills with her ultimate, you can get everybody off the area for at least a little bit and let your team move in and attack. So those 2 in particular. Lucio's are always good, especially in Temple of Anubis. But yeah, that's where I would put my picks.
All right. I've been going with, and this is my decision, and I'm kind of basing it off the competitive meta that's been going on lately. It seems like everybody's going 2-2-2. So what I mean by that is 2 tanks, 2 support, and 2 attackers. It seems like nobody is picking defensive characters unless it's
Try telling that to Oceanic players.
Yeah? This is completely different.
We're playing on the wrong servers.
So, yeah, it be it a Roadhog Winston or Zarya Reinhardt or Zarya Roadhog, it seems to be like those 2 tanks is the way to go. And Lucio, especially in Temple of Anubis, on these capture points, you want to have that speed going to the point, and the breakdown, being able to shield your players. Zenyatta's been being used a lot more often in these points because of the fact that he can hold for a lot longer and move faster. And who can't play without a Mercy? If you go Mercy, just bless your heart, because there's so many people that don't play Mercy anymore. So moving on to the first point, obviously you can see from the map displayed, you're going to be going through this corridor, go into the left section or the right section, or straight through the archways. that's your only 3 vantage points, unless you are obviously a Pharah, Winston, or who's the other? Diva, thank you. And the only way she can go is above the archway, so she can kind of come in as a surprise, but this is a great point for defenders because of the fact that they see exactly where all of your teammates are going. That being said, Steppy has a great option on defense that you need to watch out for when you go in through the left side, because he sets up his Symmetra. You want to give a little insight to that, Steppy?
Basically, so what we're going as attackers left side. Yeah, so basically there's a little room on the left hand side that I used to put my turrets in, which I no longer do because someone like Winston could walk in there and just press left click and they're all dead. So basically, yeah, where Dragon is now, I tend to set my turrets up in that vicinity there. So I put a couple on the ground, a couple above, a couple on the right. I actually put one on the tree to the right of Dragon.
Okay.
It's pretty nifty because people can't find it. And I just spam that little gap that you can see right through there. I just spam it full of orbs. And generally, if you have a team rushing in and you time your orb, it will travel through the whole entire team. And regardless, if you die and all your turrets die, you're going to fame out tons and tons of damage. So you really need to be careful. The best thing I can say is grab a Winston or a Zarya.
Okay.
Just for that initial part, because once she's dead and the turrets are down, you can probably swap your tank straight off again.
Yeah, it makes sense. And yeah, be mindful that, okay, so Steppy, when you get your teleporter, where's the one place you like to put it?
Okay, so if you go up the stairs to the left, and then you got the health pack.
Yes.
So if you're looking up the second set of stairs in the right-hand corner.
Got it.
So look, where the health pack is, in the right-hand corner, like kind of behind those set of stairs.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. I've seen a lot of people put their teleporters in this on attack. This is something that you need to make note of because I've almost always seen a Symmetra on this map on defense, and it seems to be like this is her number 1 map to play at other than King's Row. And I've seen teleporters back here with a bunch of her what are they called, her orbs, her turrets, yes, back here defending it, which does an amazing job, obviously, unless you're playing against a Winston. I've seen her put it up these back stairs where Hanzo likes to hide, because that's another vantage point that the enemies usually don't get to because they're trying to capture this capture point right here.
Even just behind the door, as you walk through the arch doorway to the right-hand side, there's a little cutout in the building, and you can fit the teleporter right in the cutout.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so that's definitely another one.
All right, as well as all of these points that we're making mention of, be aware that Torbjorns like to put turrets in almost the same areas because of the fact that they are unseen. Mark, what about you?
Specifically behind, sorry for interrupting, but specifically behind the wall, it's kind of hard to explain, opposite the archway where you go for the health pack.
Okay.
You can put the turret behind, and that's where I always put it, because if you have a Winston or something, or Diva flying onto the point, they're kind of getting shot from behind, then have to turn around and deal with that, so it's a bit of a distraction. So.
Right, yep.
Makes sense. What about yourself, Mark? What would you like to preach about attackers going into the first point?
The biggest problem for everybody in the first point is those 2 choke points there. The first and the second one, both are arches. You got people from up above, people from down below. My philosophy is always get to the point the quickest way possible. I diva a lot, and what I'll do is I'll fly over everything and get on the point. And it causes anybody who's playing forward in those bottlenecked areas there to come backwards to get me.
And I see it a lot where all 4 of the players will turn around, and then you just get killed from behind because one person's on the point.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So if I was to give any tip, if you're playing, the Pharah divas, anybody that can get up and over and get to that point as quickly as possible. Sometimes I do it as a sacrifice, and I say, okay, the whole team's here, we're ready to go. They're destroying us in this choke point. I'm going to fly over the whole thing, and as soon as they hear somebody's on the point, they're turning around to get me, while my team's, blasting them from behind. Same kind of idea.
Yeah.
So in attack here, be mindful that there are 2 choke points, and if you can get them to turn around, that's probably your best attacking advantage for your team.
Okay. I like it. I like all these suggestions. Hopefully you are able to do able to take all these into account and take over the first point. Once you take over this first point, your spawn becomes right behind this enclosed door, and it is a little bit of a run if you die, so be wary of that. And moving on to the second point, you have this corridor and then another archway walking into the second point. This is probably what would you say, guys? This is probably the closest capture points in any map.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would say it's the closest so far.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, they're so close that as attackers, you use the same spawn point when you die.
Yes.
Actually, no, you don't. There is a change in spawn point. Now that I think of it, it goes to the back where the first capture point was.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant that the one that I pointed out. So you have this archway right here, and then you can enter through the left in underneath. This is a good way to attack, but you have to be wary because this is also one of their spawn points entrances, so they can flank you very easily. There's a lot of turrets set up by Torbjorn right here, as well as Bastion setting up back in this little alcove cave area. And obviously, if you've put on enough pressure, the Torbjorns like to set up right at their spawn area as well as the Bastions. Those are some things to watch out for, as well as Reinhardt is always going to be camping this middle area because his shield fits through both of these pillars, and he can just spam his fire strike down the runway in order to build up his ultimates for the push that you guys inevitably have to do. Another entrance is going through the right way. This is where you find a lot of Genjis and Reapers trying to flank, as well as Tracers. This is a good area to come through if you're able to be the flanker, because of the fact that you can catch the enemy off guard and, like Mark said earlier, have them all turn in the same direction.
You know what? I never attack on that side. I don't know why. I
No?
don't like it.
Okay.
Never.
Even as Genji. That's interesting.
Maybe every now and then. If I have my ult, I try. There's like a little brick wall that has a little bit of a brick ledge, and sometimes I try to just jump over that and then ult, but most of the time, nah.
Okay.
I just don't like that right side. It's just too tight for my liking.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I don't think I've ever gone over the right side.
So I almost exclusively go over that way when I'm playing Reaper. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, I'm kind of modified. I start left and then I go underneath the bridge.
Okay.
And then I'll come up the right and do it that way.
Makes sense. Mark makes a good point. Underneath this bridge, this is a good thing to note. There is a full health pack right underneath it, so at any time that you feel like you're taking too much damage, try and get down there, and you can engage right back into the fight right after that. In this left area, this left cave area, there's a small health pack, but right before you go into the main entrance to the second capture point, all the way on the left, there's a little building. It also has a full health pack that you can take advantage of if your healer has died or something, or you can just full heal in order to engage again. I've seen a lot of people after they take the first point. Oh, by the way, we've noticed that the best recorded time on this map was 59 seconds. So it's pretty impressive. It's a map that you can, if you coordinate very well, that you can take over very easily. I myself have done it in 108, I believe, where I charged as Reinhardt right into this area, usually taking out the Bastion or the opposing Reinhardt that's blocking, and then I come over to this side and just hold up my shield. I don't know, for whatever reason, enemies like to destroy the shield before just running through it and capturing the point, but it's helped out a lot.
And it's a strategy that must work, because a lot of times when I've lost that second point quickly on defense because the attacking team took the first one and then just rushed into the second one.
Yeah, if you've either team killed on the first point, or you have a Lucio that can get you to this point faster before they can set up, this is a very quick game.
Can I just throw a little something out there too?
Sure.
That as an attacker, just say you have 4 people on the point, right, and you're facing, like, as you've crossed the bridge sort of thing, there's 2 ways that the defenders can come out. Now, I've gotten many quadra kills and quintuple kills and that from the left-hand side, because everyone just puts their back to that side and watches the right-hand side. Now, you need to be careful of McCree's and stuff, because, man, if they can high noon from that side, you're just going to get pelted, and you're going to die, and you're going to lose the point because no one's watching that. And I see it so much, honestly. And it's bad, because there is 2 spawn points. It takes like an extra second, maybe 2, to go that way, but yeah, it's deadly.
Yeah, they actually need to make a full right turn instead of going out.
Yeah.
All right, so in a nutshell, and these capture points aren't very much to talk about other than the payload, because you're obviously pushing something and trying to flank a lot more, but that's Anubis in a nutshell. You guys have anything else to add, Mark?
The only thing I'd have to add is you almost always want to have some sort of flankers. I see a lot of teams try to go down the middle, and all it is it's like a bowling alley. You're the pins, just going right down the center, and they're just going to destroy you because you're all bunched together.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so moving on to the next one, we have Hanamura. I know that everybody loves this one.
Mm-hmm. Now entering Hanamura.
To be honest, one of the hardest maps to win on attack.
You think so?
Maybe not the first point, but the second point.
Did it come back up?
It says offline for me. Oh wait. Yeah, YouTube's back up.
Okay, that was really weird.
Yeah, weird.
All right, so this is the Murloc that Stebby was talking about eating his. What would you guys say this is? Like a ramen?
Yeah, ramen. It's
ramen noodles.
Shop, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And if you shoot it, it does make a noise.
I need to shoot that. Like we got to play a quick play on Hanamura just so that I can see that. All right, so yeah, this is your entrance. You have the arcade entrance on attack, and the first thing I like to know is that if you have an opposing Reinhardt that has a brain, he's going to fire strike the door. So the main exit door. You have 2 exits as attackers. One is on the left side, and one is going straight into the middle. So pay attention. If there's a Reinhardt on the other team, you can see him through the windows in the main entrance, and if he fire strikes, I've gotten up to half of my ultimate as Reinhardt just because people eat my fire strike fully, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm ready for my ult next time I hit these guys. What I've seen a lot of attackers do is go straight up this main ramp road and try and push through this door. It's basically the only entrance you have unless you can scale or climb or fly, basically. But I don't know. I have to get your guys' opinion on this before I start rambling on about it. What do you think is the best strategy for going in through these 2 doors?
Legitimately, like I got yelled at in competitive the other day because all I said to people is, can we rush the point? Because same thing on Temple of Anubis, as Mark said, like down the middle and the second point, people are just firing stuff back and forth.
Yeah. And
like eventually the defenders win. Like you have to push through, like regardless if your team's dying, because you're just dying anyway at the doorway.
Yeah.
And now like the first point in Temple of Anubis at least has 2 doorways, and it has like a right flank and a left flank that we can go up the middle. This one has 1. Basically, if you can't climb, it has 1. So you have to push through. Like I don't care what anyone says, you have to push through. You can't just stand there and throw blows out, especially if they have 2 healers. It just does not work.
Yeah, I completely agree. Mark, what's your take on that?
I agree with that too. And oftentimes, this is probably one of my pet peeves about this map is most teams will sit here and play this door for 3 minutes, and when she says 30 seconds left, suddenly everybody's rushing through. Well, why didn't we do that 2.5 minutes ago when we first showed up the door?
Yeah.
You know you're going to have to do it, so why wait till the last 30 seconds and then it's a mass panic to get onto that point?
So on that, do you guys think it's better to go straight to the point, or do you think it's better to take a right or a left into the room or up the stairs?
Straight up.
I'm a straight up guy too.
Yeah, I think I've seen Reinhardt's just charge, like miss everyone completely, get on the point, and then people just pile in behind him because he's on the point, and then you take it.
Yeah,
just because they're like watching the door, then all of a sudden a Reinhardt flies past them, or a Diva even, and they're just like, oh, hold on, and then that itself is enough of a distraction to say, oh, well, we have to turn around now.
The one thing that most teams don't do, especially if people are solo queuing, is they don't communicate with each other using their microphones.
Yeah.
So you need to use that to your advantage. So when you blast through like that, everybody feels it's their responsibility to turn and go get the Reinhardt. So you get all 6 people turning to go get the Reinhardt, and everybody else is just walking through the door. 9 times out of 10, I'm telling you, 4 or more people will turn towards that charging Reinhardt. Now suddenly it's 5-on-2 instead of 6-and-6 at the doorway. You know what I mean? You have to send somebody in to get that point, and it's going to peel off a few of their defenders, and you're going to have a better shot at getting through that doorway.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And playing as Reinhardt, I would like to make a note that when you charge, you can get all the way to the end of their capture point. If you do it wrong, you can actually charge yourself off, but you can get to either the bell
just
or
take somebody with you, will
the
you?
wall. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, taking this point this is clutch for this game, because if, like Mark said, if you waste too much time on this door, then you're not going to have enough time for the second point, because the second point is ridiculously difficult.
Even worse. You need all the time you can get.
Yeah. So, of note, make sure you pay attention to either Bastions or Torbjorns or Symmetra turrets being set up. I've seen a lot of Torbjorn setting up on the second floor up here because it has a good vantage point of both the capture point and the front door. I've seen them set up on the first floor as well as on the gravel.
Can I throw a little trick out there too?
Sure.
So go into the actual capture point. Now, about halfway up the stairs, you can actually drop your Torbjorn turret, and see the little brackets that are kind of windows? It actually shoots through the windows into that choke point, and the only way to kill it is flanking it from behind or being extremely accurate through those little gaps.
You're talking about it's through these windows right here?
Yeah, it's like facing the choke point.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it shoots through the little squares, man. Like, you got to try that. It's pretty
cool. That is great. I'm going to try that.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah, so there you go from the number one Torbjorn player I've seen.
Hey, just because my kill death ratio is in like the top 4% of all players in the world doesn't mean I'm good.
So, yeah, basically, and it's unanimous, just charge in and do it as a team. That's the best way to take over this point. Yeah. So once you do that, this becomes your spawn point right here. There are 2 exits for that. One is over at the left side, where you have to either climb back in through the middle, which is pointless because you're just wasting time, or use a flight mechanic to get over to the other side. Obviously, you can't do this with Reinhardt or Torbjorn, or, I mean, anybody that can't fly. Just go through the right side because of the fact that it's going to take you a lot more time if you go left.
A neat trick, you can actually bunny hop over there with Zarya, but it's kind of hard.
That is far. That is
you can do it.
Quite far. Okay, so going on to the second point is another point where you can charge straight through the middle. I personally like to go top right. Yes, I personally like to go top right because of the fact that you can see what snipers are trying to snipe from the second floors, or you can take out the turrets of the Torbjorns that are usually all the way up the stairs while debating whether or not you just want to drop down or you want to go through the stairwell. You also have the option of going left, but again, this is more set to the flankers like the Reapers or the Genjis or the Divas that can basically distract.
Tracer.
Yes, the Tracer. I still have yet to get over here with the Tracer.
Really?
Yeah.
Just jump and press shift twice.
I'll fall. So the enemy entry points are... So this is something to note. While the players are on defense, they only have one spawn point. So this is where they are going to run from their first, when you're capturing the first checkpoint and the second checkpoint. That being the case, your runtime is a lot longer than theirs, so try and stay alive a lot longer than they do because of the fact that They will be back in, what would you guys say, like 5 seconds? The runtime?
I think their runtime in this, from this spawn point to the capture point, is actually shorter than the Temple of Anubis. It's not by
about a
much.
second.
Yeah, but it's actually shorter.
Yep.
So they're able to refresh their army a lot quicker than you are.
Yes.
And that's what I think makes capturing this point so difficult.
Yeah, it makes sense. Of note, there are heal points right in this little room. Right underneath, there's a full heal in the bottom right room, as well as a full heal in the left side in the room right before you enter into the capture point. These are things to make note of because of the fact that they're places you can escape to and go heal up and re-engage. Take advantage of all of these health points, even though they are the small health points, because of the fact that, like Mark said, they have a much shorter distance to run. So, anything you guys want to add to Hanamura?
Be wary of tourbillon turrets as attackers. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 good places you can put it. And if there's a good tourbillon player, he's going to keep changing where he puts it. So, and you have to kill that first. It's essential. So just be very, very wary of that.
Yes. So, without further ado, we'll be moving on to Volskaya Industries.
So many people love this map. I don't know what the obsession is. I don't. Probably one of my least favorites.
Yeah, I don't like this one either. Going in. I don't know. I really hate the first point. Capturing the first point.
Again, it's one of those things where you know you kind of only have 2 ways to go, and I guess you have like 4 really, but getting through that initial choke point is just—it's the worst. It's so bad.
Yeah, so
and that's probably not like Temple of Anubis where you can just kind of run through. You kind of it's people everywhere.
All right, so these are your 2 main exits for the Volskaya Industries attackers, as well as one on the very right, which I seldom see people using unless they're trying to flank. A lot of Hanzos like to set up on this I don't know, what would you call this, library? Or
it's like a library.
This library area right on the rooftops. This is another good point for a Reaper if you're on the attack, because you can kind of melt a shield without a Reinhardt knowing from the top floor. Do you guys want to talk about the Pharah trick going left?
It's a Pharah and Diva trick going left.
Okay, Mark, you take it then.
Reaper,
So-
Genji.
Yeah, you might be able to do it with Reaper. I don't know.
I haven't tried.
Yeah, you can.
Can he peek around the corner enough to see it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, right there, as he's showing you, on your left there, you can actually cross through there and end up basically all the way around to the left side of the point if you can get successfully all the way through. And you basically avoid that choke point in the middle there where everybody on the defense is going to be standing.
Yes. So this truck area is where your main choke point is. This is your one entrance, other than the fact of going all the way around the buildings, and that takes up some time, but it's one of those, like Mark said, if you can distract them long enough to get them away from this choke point, then you can take advantage of that.
I do that every time in this map, and I do it with Diva. And what I do is I come out the front door and I boost up on top of that library or whatever it is. I wait about 4 or 5 seconds, which is the cooldown for her boost. And then you can boost up and over the choke point and on top of the building right in front of her point, right in front of the point. And then all you do is you just step off the building, you're on their point, and everybody has to turn around. Not only do they have to turn around and come out and get you, but they can't see you. So now they have to walk around the building as well, and it really takes them some time if they're playing far forward.
Yes.
So this is the reason I think they removed like more than one character for competitive, because if you had 3 divas doing that, that's probably done, man. You're probably done.
Yeah, I mean, I can get over there from start of game in about 8 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm on their point, and most of them are standing in front of a choke point, and again, everybody will turn around to come get me.
excuse me, a lot of bastions and Torbjorns like to set up in this left room over here. I've seen a lot of Symmetras like to sprawl their turrets all over this little archway, as well as as well as in the left room as you enter. Now, as a tank player, you're going to want to basically pick a side that you want to engage on, because it's either right or left of the truck. The reason I say that is, like I said, to the right of the truck you're going to see more turrets set up. To the left of the truck there's going to be the snipers that are trying to take you out from either the second floor over there or from where Mark was saying that he lands. This is based around what you chose as your comp. So if you're playing as a Reinhardt, I would suggest you go in from the left side, because you can block most of the sniper attacks, as well as take out Symmetra very easily, because you should have your team behind you. If you're going in the right section, you want a very strong attacking presence, either a Reaper that can melt down a Bastion or a turret, or like a Genji that
in this meta, McCree's not too bad either.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know why we didn't mention McCree, other than the fact that he's first pick and killing everybody lately. Hey, Suit Car, thanks for the follow, man. So we will be going on to the second point. After you capture this, your spawn point becomes this door right here. I believe that's the only exit, isn't it, guys?
It's the only one I go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your spawn point, this door opens, your spawn point becomes this, and you need to go inside to the industry and take over the capture point. Now, there's a lot going on in this second point. As you see, there are multiple moving platforms, which Torbjorns and Bastions love to set up on. There are many different ways for entry. You've got the 3 windows on the left side. I'll just call them windows. You have the main entrance archway. You have a moving pillar on the right that can get you to the second floor. A lot of Hanzos and Widowmakers like to set up there for people coming out through this archway of the entrance. And to your right, which has 2 engagement spots. One where a Flyer or a Reaper can get over to the steps, and another where you can engage in a closer proximity to the capture point. What are your guys' main attacks on these?
Mine always seems to be right or center.
Okay.
Yeah, I rarely ever go left.
I'm opposite. I love going left on this map because people don't expect it. Like, especially if you're playing like Genji or something. Like, if you have a Hanzo defending on the top bridge, and you just kind of creep up over the left side, and he's just standing there, like, trying to shoot down the middle, and you just walk up and kill him instantly. It just depends if that side gets watched, you know.
Yes.
But I'm left or right. I rarely go up the middle unless I'm, I guess, Reinhardt or Zarya.
Yeah, the tanks, you want to take them straight up the middle or to the right side where they can get closer to the vantage point for the capture. And I'm kind of with Steppy on this one. I don't normally go through the left, but I have ridden these enjoyable moving platforms with Reinhardt going through the windows, so that people would be like, "How did a Reinhardt get over here?" I didn't see him come through the middle, but another advantage I've seen is, and I've seen this done on a YouTube video, so don't quote me on it, but a Symmetra can set up her teleporter in this room right here and 6-person spawn. So if your entire team dies and that teleporter is set up, you can fully crash on the capture point, which I've seen it one time, again on YouTube, not personally.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I saw that same video. It was actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting point. As we have the Pro Torbjorn player, I'm just going to keep calling you that from now on. What are your main setup points on defense so the attackers have an idea of where to go?
Okay, so it's hard to explain. As an attacker, just say you're on the point and you take a sharp right, and you got stairs that go up to the second level. There's a little cutout in the wall where you can put your turret, so people coming behind that right side, like divas and etc., coming behind that right side, still have to kind of go around to the side to be able to hit your turret. And that's pretty much the only spot that I ever put it, other than there's another little cutout on the actual point towards, you know, the big health pack down the stairs. There's a little cutout there that you can put it down that no one can really reach unless they're on the point as well.
Got it. Okay.
So it's kind of close range. So if you have a Reinhardt going in there, and then you have a Reaper like right behind him, it's kind of hard to Torbjorn on that point if you have a skilled tank.
Okay, makes sense. All right, Mark, you want to add anything to this second point?
Nope, I do not.
All right. Moving on, the next place we're going to be talking about is Lijiang Tower. So now we are moving on to the King of the Hill matches.
Oh. I swear I lose most of my games on those ones.
It just seems like King of the Hill matches are set up to, if you don't play as a team, you're never going to win.
That's it.
That is correct.
So...
And 9 times out of 10, when you're playing competitive King of the Hill, most of your team will file in single file.
Yep.
And or fight off the point.
Right.
How many times I sit there and say, why am I the only one on the point and I'm Lucio? Like, I just don't understand.
How many times have you died and there's been a character like a Junkrat or somebody else standing off the point and it's an overtime and the line is going down and he's still firing, you know, his bombs and you're going, what are you doing? Get on the point.
Yeah. All right, so so I don't actually know how this would work for me other than us talking about it, because the King of the Hill matches are 3 maps each, and I believe I can only select one as spectator, like one each.
Oh really? So it's just random what you get?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, and these maps are kind of unique because you're both attacking. There really isn't a defense.
Yes.
So you got to look at it from both sides. Attackers have different... I mean, most of the maps are made generally the same. Like this map, I believe, is the same either way. It's just flipped, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, you all meet in the middle, and there's the same entryways coming in, but you're both on attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as what we're looking at from a eagle's eye view is the capture point right in the middle. As Mark said, the attackers on both teams go in through these hallways, and they have some different areas that they can come in, like he was mentioning the stairs coming up this way as well as the other, and you can also flank to the rooftop, I like to call it, or 3rd floor. A lot of McCrees like to go up there. I've seen a lot of Phares go up there, or Widowmakers. Don't ask me why people play Widowmakers on these maps, but I've seen people do it, and the vantage point of being above everybody is very critical in this map. There's a 2nd floor behind the capture point that has a full health pack, so that's something to note, especially if you're a Genji, because you can get up there pretty quick, and you can take advantage of people not paying attention to that area because they're looking at the main entrances of the attackers coming in.
It's a popular Pharah point I've noticed recently. Pharah likes to sit there.
All right. What are your thoughts on these?
I don't know. I kind of, like I said, I think I lose most of my games on these, mainly because people either funnel in one by one, or there's not. This map that we're specifically on now is probably the best map out of the capture point ones, because a lot of people do tend to fight in the middle, like other than from sides. The only thing I can really say is be wary of that very, very top floor where I've seen bastions. I've seen Torbjorn turrets up there, and it's just really critical that you pay close attention to there, because like a High Noon, even Soldier 76, like any sort of ultimate, it can just shred your team if you're not prepared.
Yeah. Reaper jumping down with his ult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a map like this is played a little bit differently too. I know some people will play Torbjorn, some people will play Bastion on this map. I've seen it. It doesn't happen very often, so it becomes almost like a total PvP, absolute melee mayhem in the center, where everybody's in just trying to kill everyone. It's almost very Halo-like to me, where everybody's meeting in a room and just destroying each other.
Yes.
For that point. So it does feel differently when I'm playing it, and I don't like it. Because
Okay.
I do lose most of my games on these maps as well.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, as we said, there are 2 other points for the Lijiang Tower. Do you guys want to make mention of those, other than the fact that, like all of these King of the Hill maps, as we said, you all have the same entry points, and you need to capture a certain point, and after you capture the point, it'll start ticking up until it gets to 100%, and vice versa for the opponent. Just pay attention to the entryways. That's basically the best way to defend against these. And as we said, with this one, you've got multiple entryways from behind, from above, from second floor, from the main archways that you can come in. Every one of these capture points have them. We are going to go over 2 more, and then hopefully you guys get the general gist. This isn't... King of the Hill is one of those maps where you have to play as a team, and if you don't play as a team, then you're not going to win, because 4 playing against 6 is never going to work out.
Yeah. So basically, if 2 people die or 3 people die, and you're just spawning, like the other group of 3 are spawning, just wait. Seriously, just wait.
Yeah.
Like what's the respawn timer in Overwatch? I don't even know.
So
5 seconds?
I think it's 10.
Yeah. So you're 10 seconds? That's like 4%. You're only going to give them a free 4%, so it's better if you funnel in as 6 rather than 3 and then 2 and then 1 and then 1 and 1 and 1.
Yeah, you're right. It is better in the long run. I mean, you can continue to go in one at a time until you figure it out, or you can group together, hand them basically 4 to maybe 8%, and take it over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People just need to play.
Relax.
The worst thing for me is when people run in one at a time in this map. I mean, I become completely defeated. I start picking players. Yeah, I start picking characters I've never played before, this, that, and the other, because I know we're never going to win. You know what I mean? So you have to group together, and you have to go in together, even if it means giving them a little bit. You just got to relax.
Yeah. All right. So next map we're going to be talking about is Ilios. Who's the number one picked character on Ilios? Anybody?
You know what?
Boop,
it would
boop.
have to be equal between Lucio and Farah.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that there's one outright.
Really?
I would have to say it has to be Lucio.
I would go with
mainly
Lucio.
Because he can boot people off, but he also has his ultimate, which he could use on the point. If everybody gets in that small room, it will cover anybody that's standing in that room.
Yeah.
All right. So as Mark was saying, this small room is the capture point. Lucio is by far one of the best characters on this point because of the fact that it uses the environmental kills to your advantage. If they fall off of any of these points surrounding this room, then they are completely dead, obviously, unless it's a D.Va that can get back, a Genji that can get back. I believe Winston can jump as he's falling, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Tracer can
No,
recall.
I guess they are rockets, so yes, Tracer can recall. So
If you're good enough as Lucio, you can also wall ride back up.
yeah, good luck. Not me.
Yeah, me neither.
I've spent I think so there are 2 other maps. One other is the well map where Roadhog is used ridiculously, and what's the final map, guys? I'm drawing a blank. It's this map, the well, and one other.
Oh, the one, the center,
The pyramid.
and the right hand side. You got the only edge is on the right hand side where the large health pack is, and you got the left. It's got like a room and a small bridge, and you can drop down to drop into the point.
Okay.
I'm trying to explain it, but I can't. It's got like ruins all around it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like ruins.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about now. And anyway, with Lucio, I was trying to wall ride in. I got booped or whatever into the cellar, or the what's it called?
The well.
The well, thank you. And I must have spent a minute trying to wall ride myself out of there. and my team was just dying around me because I was the only healer. So I'm like, sorry guys, I'm trying to live.
I've actually had the same scenario. I was wall riding in the middle one time, and I had somebody look down and shoot me while I was wall riding and kill me.
That sucks. So yeah, this is definitely one of these points that Lucio excels at, and as Steppy was saying, so does Farah because of her not concussive blast, her blast away, basically, her alternate fire, and be wary of that as you come into this point. Reinhardt's very good at this point because of the fact that there's only so many entrances into it. You got to make note that Farah can come in through the roof as well as Reaper if he plays it right, because I believe Reaper can actually spawn onto this little ledge. Yes. And then jump straight in with his ultimate, so be wary of where your enemies are. Reaper gives a tell because he says death comes from above, or he gives some kind of announcement that he's teleported. So pay attention to if you have a Reaper on your team, if you have a Pharaoh on your team, and where the enemy Reaper and Pharaohs are. This map can be won very easily if you work as a team, and if you take the enemy out as they're running, because a lot of enemies like to try and go in one by one after they've lost this point. Yep. If they go in as a team, then you just have to play the same way. You have to play King of the Hill and play as a team to defend yourself. The fact that you have basically a building to protect you and different corners of the building to block out either Roadhog ultimates or anybody else. Use the shields from Zarya, Reinhardt, Winston, and you can take this point very easily.
I also want to note too that there's more than one way to the point. You don't have to go through that building on the left or right side. Like, I see 4 people running through there, and there's a junkyard on the point just firing grenades in there, and the whole team dies. Like, you go around the building, and then try maybe go behind them from their entranceway, stuff like that. Like, don't just go down those right and left hand buildings. Like.
Yes, yeah, you have to mix it up because people remember and they plan against it. Yeah. So if you mix it up, you'll be all right.
Makes sense. All right, so that is Elias, at least one of the maps. We've made mentions of the others, and we are now moving on to Nepal. Wait, Nepal is the one with the little cellar, isn't it?
I'm trying to think.
Let's see what it gives
us. I don't know.
Settings, none.
Oh, traveling to Nepal. I'm just trying to.
Nepal has the one that is like a pyramid. It's got the 2 long steps upward with the pillar in the center.
Yeah, that's one of them.
It's got that one. It's got the other one that's outside with the, I want to call it like the wicker wall.
Okay, so we got the pyramid.
You go into the point, and then it also has
this one.
Yep. And then it's also got this one where it's got the left and the right hand side. I think depending upon where you spawn, one of the sides will drop you into a little tunnel that leads onto the point. We're going to get this is the pyramid one right here. Yeah. I call it the pyramid one because it's kind of like a...
It is. What's that? It's like a little, I don't know, it's like a mausoleum or something?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. There's elephants outside of it, though.
Yeah. Anyway, so, let's just call it the pyramid for namesake, and this is basically the same as Elias, where it's a capture the point. You're capturing a building. There's many entrances for the enemies to flank. You need to pay attention to the high ground, to the low ground, and see where your enemies are coming in from. Things of note, there are full health packs in both entrances underneath on the left and right buildings. There are full health packs, I believe. There is a full health pack on the back side of the pyramid that a lot of people don't completely know about. And
towards the edge of the map, yeah.
Yeah. And in the entrances, in the building entrances on the way to the capture point, there are health packs, full health packs as well. So this place is a healer's, like, I don't know, what would you call it? Well, like a healer's
sanctuary.
Sanctuary, yeah, that sounds good. Because they don't have to heal people that they know can save themselves. The Reapers, the Soldier 76s, the Tracers that can get away fast enough, the Genjis, because the Genjis, the Reapers, the Tracers can heal themselves with all of these health packs that are laced around, and the healers can concentrate on the people they need to, the tanks and the other supports. So best way to capture this point is boost with Lucio, come straight in, and this is just an all-out war, basically, from what I've noticed. Whoever captures the point, they're just paying attention to where the enemies are coming from and picking them off as soon as they can. The only way to recapture this point on attack is, well, they're both attacking, but the only way to recapture this point is to go in as a group. If you do not go in as a group, like I just mentioned, the enemy will see you and completely annihilate you. There are a couple ways you can do this. You can go in from the left side and go up the stairs in the back area where they may or may not see you. You can have some flankers come in from the right, as well as enemies or your attackers going to the second floor and being a distraction. Other than that, this is a very straightforward King of the Hill map. Any things you guys want to add to this?
I'd like to say that regardless of what capture point map it is, you have to pick Lucio, even if you're not booping people off. Just because the area heals are really good, and Zarya should probably also be first pick.
Yeah,
especially on the Lijiang Tower that you just showed, where it's just like an all-out brawl in the middle, and this one where it's an all-out brawl in the middle, because everyone's grouped up, man. And at Zarya ult, you're just going to collect pretty much their whole entire team every single time.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, as well as the Lucio, because of the fact that everybody has the same distance to run, and if you have the advantage of the speed, then you will always get to the point first starting out, as well as being able to sneak up on the enemies very easily.
Yes.
So in a nutshell, that is the King of the Hill maps. Sorry we couldn't go to every one. We will work on doing that in a future episode because of the fact that we couldn't. Maybe I can do like a montage and we can play that in the background, but that's the King of the Hill maps. That is the basic strategy that you need to have. Again, this is my public service announcement. Mark or Jesse can have different ones, but I'd say 2 tanks, 2 support, 2 attackers is the way to go.
Honestly, I cannot stress this enough. So many times we have 1 tank, 1 healer, like 3 attackers and a defender, and they have 2 tanks and 2 healers, and we just can't do anything. And I say, can we swap, Tracer swap to a tank, or blah blah blah, swap to a healer, and just like, nah, we can get through. It's like, you can't out heal 2 healers as one, and you can't out tank 2 tanks as one. It's just never going to happen. But people just don't seem to understand. Like, so if the other team has 1 tank and 1 healer, maybe you can get away with that too. But to make it an easier win on you, 2 healers, 2 tanks all the time. See, Roadhog is a really good tank because he can pretty much instantly kill anyone.
He is damaged too.
So basically, he's an attacking, self-healing, high hit point guy. So basically, he's an attacker himself. Like, you can pretty much say that. So that is definitely the way. Even if it wasn't professional league that we're talking about, you have to have 2 tanks and 2 healers. I don't care.
Yeah. Anything to add to the King of the Hill maps, Mark?
No, but for a public service announcement, I would say be flexible. I'm trying to learn to be a bit more flexible now in the characters that I pick, and it will help out in your not only your own personal gameplay but your team's gameplay, where you can fill in where a team needs. Yeah,
I completely back that because of the fact that there's so many people that just are set in their ways, and in competitive, as a team game with everybody's trying to do the same thing, try and work together, and if you're not flexible, then that'll never work.
Yeah.
Good call, Mark. Finally, guys, the tip of the week, we give a new tip. Maybe people know this, maybe people do not. So I don't know if you guys know, but Symmetra's main attack increases in damage over time applied to the opponent. So as you are damaging the opponent with your left click or X, I guess it is for PlayStation, I have no idea, but as it's connected, it's going to continually increase in damage. And if you let go of it, so Steppy, step in if I'm messing up. If you let go of it for a certain amount of time, then it will completely reset how much damage it does and go back to like 10 and then increase over time again. So pay attention as you're chasing people around, and you can easily kill people back to back.
Yeah, to my understanding, that's how it works.
What about and you can switch, correct?
What do you mean switch?
So you can switch from opponent to opponent based on how much damage it's doing?
Well, the example I spoke to Dragon and Freak before the game was I was playing Symmetra on attack because the team was kind of choosing stupid characters, so I'm like, let's have a bit of fun. Anyway, me and some other character funneled into the left-hand side of All Sky Industries. Now, she killed, I don't know who it was, with her holding her left click down, and as he died, so I got about an extra second on my left click on their Symmetra, but she still killed me in about a second. Like, I didn't stand a chance of killing her, even though I was on already for that 1 second, because it seemed that she immediately switched to me, thus her beam was stronger because it builds up over time. And I think that kind of proves that tip of the week right there.
Yeah. Finally, let's go into our shoutouts. If you guys invite. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, feel free at dr4g3n. If you guys like what you're seeing or you want to see more, join the Facebook group. Type in the Battlewatch in Facebook search, and it should be the first closed group that came up. We're very quick to allow people into the group, so feel free to do that. On YouTube, as I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time right now, you can find me as dr4g3n, and we'll be posting each video each and every week as we record each podcast, as well as me streaming separate games like competitive and whatnot. My Battle.net name is dr4g3n #1333 if you want to try and group up with me if I have time. And I'm just gonna plug my cousin here, twitch.tv/Legend of Steve. He's trying to get into Overwatch. He's a very good Rocket League player, but he's been supporting us and helping us set up for the podcast. And as always, Steppy is more than welcome back whenever he wants, because he's helped us from the beginning. So without further ado, Mark, take it away, and then Steppy, you get your shout out, bro.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, if you were looking for me, you'll find me on the Battlewatch Facebook page. I post there quite often. If you want to check me out on YouTube, I do some streaming. I have some my own videos up there of Overwatch. You can check me out. Just search for The Freak, all one word. And if you want to play with me on Battle.net, if you want to play Overwatch with me on Battle.net, you can catch me. My name is The Freak, #11944.
Nice. Steppy, all you.
Alright guys, so if you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's www.youtube.com/SteppyGA. I do Overwatch competitive. I haven't done much recently because I wanted Anna to die down. So I haven't done much of that recently, but there is more coming out. I'm doing 7 Days to Die at the moment, and I do a lot of survival games as well. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, that's at JSteppyS. And yeah, I think that's it.
All right. As always, guys, thank you for listening and viewing. Please comment, subscribe, follow, whatever it says on the page. Feel free to do that. We are going to try and bring you the most up-to-date Overwatch information each and every week. Next week, I believe it's going to be a short episode again, because we're going over the capture point and King of the Hill defending, so kind of only the capture point defending points. So we'll try and bring you some new information about the game or certain roles to play. And yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Peace out.
See ya.